United Nations Climate Change Conference, also known as COP29, is underway in Azerbaijan's capital city. Delegates from nearly 200 countries are gathered to assess the progress on reducing greenhouse gas emissions and limiting global warming. Experts predict this year will be the hottest year in recorded history worldwide. Lisa Sachs is here with me in Studio 57 to discuss. She's the director of the Columbia Center on Sustainable Investment at Columbia University here in New York. Lisa, thank you so much for being here in studio with us. What is the main focus of this year's conference?
The main focus of this year's conference is on what's called the new collective quantified goal, which is the Paris Agreement said that now was a time to agree on a new financial commitment to address all the financing challenges of climate change, scaling up clean energy, dealing with adaptation and resilience, and scaling up the funding available for the losses and damages from extreme weather events. So that's the main focus of this year's COP.
What specific role is the U.S. taking?
Well, John Podesta has reassured us that even if it's in the last months of their administration, they're full steam ahead with the U.S. commitments. So the U.S. is saying that they're going to be right there negotiating. It's a tough year, frankly, for what's on the agenda at COP, scaling up the finance that's needed. We don't wait until this 1 week to discuss it. We've been discussing it for a year, and there's a lot of fighting about what that number should be. Countries that are really vulnerable to climate change are asking for at least $1 trillion of commitments per year. And the developed countries, and including the U.S., are saying that that number is way too high. So the U.S. is participating in those discussions, but it's a tough road right now.
Are you surprised that Biden isn't at the table, or do we usually send representation?
Regrettably, we usually send representation. So actually, there are not many heads of state of developed countries that are at the COP this year. I believe the UK Prime Minister is there, but I think he's the only head of state of largest economy that I'm aware of. So it's usual to send representation.
So that leads me to my next question. Obviously, we had an election last week. There are different considerations now when it comes to climate change. How will things be impacted if the U.S. or President-elect Trump withdraws the U.S. from the Paris Agreement again, or whatever is decided here at COP29?
Yeah, well, first of all, we've been down this road before because we've had President Trump. He withdrew the U.S. from the Paris Agreement before, so we've been down that road. The more damaging thing that he could do would be to withdraw the U.S. from the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, the UNFCCC, which would be harder for a subsequent administration to re-enter. But the fact is, the world is not waiting on the U.S. and the U.S.'s leadership to take real climate action. We've actually seen a lot of other regions step up and go even further than the U.S. has. This creates even more opportunities for other countries to take even more leadership. So, and even within our own country, by the way, in response to the first Trump administration, we saw cities and states really step up, the private sector really step up, because everybody recognizes that not only does climate change present a real risk, but there are also real opportunities for growth, jobs, investment opportunities. So we're not waiting on
It's here before our eyes. We're all feeling the effects of it. I got to be quick with you. I got less than a minute with you. But what does it mean that the Taliban is present in these discussions?
Well, the Taliban is Afghanistan's government right now. And I think the main thing we can take away from that is that the climate change doesn't have borders. It's affecting all of us. It's a non-political thing. Afghanistan is very vulnerable to the effects of climate change. And it's good that they're at the table.
Lisa Sachs, thank you so much. We appreciate your insight.